Welcome back to the channel. This is Kitten 7770, back with another episode of my Escape from Mars scenario series, which has turned into Get Power on Watermelon Before the Batteries Die Completely. I'm not sure exactly how many megawatts I'm going to need before this thing will actually start to charge. I'm gonna get some wind turbines in at a proper height, and I'll probably do it one at a time while checking on the batteries to see when they go from draining to charging. Just to get an idea of how much power Watermelon and this base uses combined between everything. Then, after that, I'll hunt down if there's a power leak somewhere that doesn't make sense. Because right now, I think my main issue is the laser is an energy sponge that just soaks up all the charge and leaves me dry. Which is good for a sponge. Very bad in a power system. Convenience always comes with a price. And in this case, the price is too high. Unless I can get a balance. Of course, a spammer tries to call when I'm recording. Let me turn my phone off so that doesn't happen again. Spam calls should be illegal. It really should. They're annoying. According to, I can tell by this phone number, by the notation of the first number, it's coming from India. I know no one in India. That's assuming they're not using a VPN. But it's most annoying, especially when you're trying to do a recording. This is actually the 99th recording I've tried to do, and I keep making the same mistake of not turning my phone off. But it's so annoying. Where was I at on this? Right, I'm building the wind turbine. I'm about, let's see, I wasn't counting because I was fretting about a phone. But I should be more than enough blocks high to have 4 optimized wind turbines at this level. Will that be enough to charge Watermelon? I do not know. The assembler, even with the power module, it has power efficiency, 2 power efficiency modules, but also has 2 speed modules. Speed modules consume more power, and the power efficiency, I don't know if it's actually making it more efficient. I think it was reducing it by like 40 watts. So that's what? Let's just say my assembler is using 460. Oxygen generators are using 1 megawatt combined. That's 1.5. I've got bunches of lights on this thing. I know each headlight is 2,000 watts each, so that's 2 megawatts each. That's 5 megawatts. That's already more than my hydrogen generator, to put it into perspective. If I was running both generators, I would have 10 megawatts. I think my lights are maybe, I haven't counted my lights. They use about 20 megawatts each. Roughly 300 megawatts. And then the wheels also take up a large chunk, when I haven't actually calculated the amount the wheels take. But yeah, I'm using a lot of power. So if I was running both hydrogen engines, I might just barely be scraping by on watermelon. I am no longer producing what I need through solar panels alone, so I basically have to make an electric vehicle charging station in the middle of nowhere.
Convoy dispatched. Delivery X5298. ETA 35.
Oh, that's right, it's kilowatt. Okay. Turned my engine off so I could see what the batteries are doing. Depleted in 10 days. 5. 1. Alright. I now have bought myself some more time to get this sorted out. I'm not even counting the one that's down below. It's producing such a minuscule amount. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of it, so I get a true estimate on the power. You know what? This giant tank, which has 50% hydrogen, doesn't have a battery on it or anything. So I'll slap a wind turbine on that, and it'll be like more than enough power to power that tank. Now let's see what I'm doing with 2 wind turbines. I could probably access it through the door. So 1 was at 10 days. 2 is at -31 days? It says recharged, but I'm like, -31 days. Huh. That doesn't seem right. Is it charging or draining? It also might not have fully recalculated in the wind turbines. How's this one looking?
Energy low.
With 3, let's see. So I am currently using 59.5. Wow. I am using a lot more power than I thought I was. Oh, it's the moisture evaporators. They're power hogs, even with efficiency modules on them. Because that's calculating both watermelon and the base. Though it was charging. Will it charge this episode? Probably not. Will it eventually charge? Yes. Oof. this tank never had that much fuel in it to begin with. It's the newest tank, so it doesn't have as much capacity. I mean, it has the same amount of capacity, it just doesn't have much fuel in it to begin with. That was the tank that was being pulled from by the engine. I think it had like 7% fuel in it before I was using the hydrogen. 2 days, much better. Still, that's like 46 hours too long for me. I still do have the option of draining these batteries into watermelon, though I'd really like to save them for... I don't know why I'm saving them. I should just drain them and get them over with. I guess I'm mostly just saving them since I can use them to create temporary, I guess, pillboxes for ambush, which I don't really need at this point, except for maybe snagging a few more ammo shipments. I still have a decent amount of ammo, but having more would be a nice bit of padding. Since I can't do much else than steal at this point. Alright. This will get me another 5 wind turbines. I may adjust the colors later. I think I'll just slap them on and check later. Sorry, I had the hiccups for a moment. It was just one though, which makes me worry there's another one coming. And I'm out of components. In my person. Izzy's has been behaving now that I've gotten several components out of the system, making a bit more room with both the 2 small cargo containers I added to the inventory, but also constructing this entire array out there. It is... oh, it's 11 kilometers away. Never mind. I was just worried because I thought I was maybe... oh, there's actually 2. There's one... green stops moving around and gets out from behind where it's currently at. Like, it looks like it's one on the ground, one in the air. 7.5 and 11. Oh well. Not like I could do anything about them anyways. Harpy, Turkey, Sprout, and Endeavor all have fully charged batteries. But it's nighttime, and even with good lighting, you know, I'm getting rid of this thing. I keep trying to pull parts from it, and it gets rid of something using power. I'll leave the rest of it, but I really don't need that control seat on there. Alright, 9 wind turbines. That is not how you spell battery. How am I looking? 11 hours. It will charge, it's just not going to be anytime soon. And me taking off that control seat only dropped it by 0.3 kilowatts. Yeah. Alright. Since watermelon is getting increasingly heavy, I might want to dump off some of the components I don't need to be carrying, such as the useless scrap metal, which I cannot do anything with because Miki is completely busted. Every patch I've tried to fix has broken, and yeah. At least put a cargo container down so I can dump it. It's going to need to be a large one, since there is a fair amount of scrap metal. And that will free up a large chunk of space in my containers that I can fill with components. Or more ice, which is looking like I'm going to need to go back to the ice mine to do more drilling. I was trying to avoid that. I thought the moisture evaporators would be enough. I didn't leave sufficient inventory space for the evaporators, so they were running but not producing ice because the system was maxed out. That was my shortcoming. I don't want that green all the way. Let's make it orange. Make it look like a pumpkin and a watermelon are growing off the same vine. Daylight's coming up, so I might as well get these remaining solar panels welded up, since that will be, even in a sandstorm, it'll still be a little bit more power. I'm also slightly worried that watermelon will be blocking the panels just a little bit. Hopefully won't impact the charge rate too much. Wow, there's a lot of weird noises going on today. No, my window's open. Let me shut that real quick. There's gardeners out there now. A little bit quieter. The wind in the game doesn't help with the sound. And while I've got the technology, since I originally built this solar tower to support oxygen farms, I'm gonna slap 6 on. Yes, I realize that they consume power. However, I'll at least be passively generating oxygen. It takes 3 of these oxygen farms for 1 person, 6 to keep up with, and 6 to, well, it will still continue producing oxygen when I consume some, like right now. Just filling up my O2. I can pull hydrogen in this tank. 5.42% with optimal efficiency. That's pretty good. And that's all the oxygen farms. It will improve once the sandstorm stops. Actually, does space engineers calculate the sand as an obstacle for the panels? Well, storm's over. Yeah, watermelon is... the turrets are slightly blocking the lower panel, but it's okay. Just as a scale, you can see what I've got going on here. Watermelon literally dwarfs this entire station. Yeah. I need to fix the conveyor junctions that are leaking air out of that one area. Will I need to depressurize the cabin to do so? That corner conveyor that's exposed right there is the main concern, because it's creating a pressure leak from this room. Might be high enough up where I don't need to depressurize the cabin. I also want to check, is there a window that will fall in the middle? I don't think there is. If there was a window that could fall in the middle, it would make it so much nicer because it wouldn't have to be a solid armor panel. All of these line up on the edge. Now, those bay windows do line up on a half. It's just, will they rub against the pistons? Which could explode the entire subgrid. Do I want to risk it? Yeah, they go on the edge, the diagonal, and that's it. Flat, diagonal, and that's it. Well, that idea went out the window. There's a boulder over there. I thought that was a grid at one point. It's just a rock. What to do to fill in the time? I suppose I could work on watermelon a bit. Like maybe close off these areas. Oh, that's right. I was going to change out that conveyor line at some point. Alright. I guess it's not pressing right now, and if I put a block over it, that would also solve the issue. Should be enough plate. No, I don't need to open my helmet. That was dumb. There's no air out there. And I opened my helmet into a vacuum. Ugh. I guess technically not a vacuum, it is a planet, it's just a planet with no atmosphere. Is that still... I mean, it has an atmosphere, but it's not breathable. Huh. Is that still considered a vacuum? follow roughly the same line because I don't want to get in the way of my assault cannon's arc of fire, which I might actually still be getting in the way of its arc of fire. Oh, hold on. There's a small issue with this roof design. And that's, what do I do on the corner? Because it's going to go into a half slope block into a... I guess that works. It just won't have a smooth connection on the transition for the upper side. There's... Unless I wanted to do a 45-degree slope on top, which I don't. I want to have the gentler slope since that's the way watermelon is built. And I just need to copy it to the other side. And fill in the two parts right here.
Energy critical.
Yes, yes, Mabel, I know. It's not going to be very smooth, but oh well. It's what I'm working with. Why does that look blue? That's green. That was blue. Okay. Alright, and the colors slightly swapped right there. And hopefully I can work out that as an angle. Not perfect, and definitely not airtight, since those corners do not create a airtight connection. I'll have to make it airtight with a block on the inside. Though once I get it below this little slope, it should be workable as an airtight space. This is the conveyor, that's the issue. I'll need to change it out anyways if I want to have any sort of piping for air for the med bay or the medical room. I don't believe I need to depressurize it since it's higher than where the cabin is actually at. I'm just gonna go for it. If I have an air leak, then no air leak. I was right. Cool. Which is surprising. Oh, no, it's not surprising because it's a solid wall on the side where the cab would be at. Now the med bay is already piped. This is just to get an air vent into the area, which is going to consume more power, but I'll turn it on and off as needed. Once the room is pressurized with the rotating doors, I won't need to worry about having a sudden depressurization.
Energy low.
Yeah, enough with the energy low. Yeah, this block works. It's this piece that will not it leaves that little line there. You could tell it's not linked as an airtight connection. So that will be a air leak if I ever choose to pressurize this area. Which I don't know if I will, since I'll have to depressurize it before opening the door to the hangar area.
Energy critical.
Though I could fix it with one of these corner blocks that I don't really use. And I realized they would work so good in so many areas. I'm also going to build the med bay so I can recharge at basically at the front or the rear until I decide. Well, I could remove the rear one, though the rear one is more convenient since it has inventory access, so I can fill up my bottles through the tanks. Guess I could give this area inventory access. It would just be through the conveyor lines and not the tank directly. Oops, missed the door. The med bay has that rounded section. It looks very similar to the way the door is. Wait, that's piped, because I can fill up from it. Can I not pull components through the med bay? Huh, I didn't know that was an issue. Yay, the medical room is decorative. It's not exactly functional yet. Though it is technically functional, it's only a floor and walls with no ceiling. Can I call it a room if it's exposed to the air? So many questions I don't have answers to. I guess this is the most optimal way to put it. Might wind up ripping one of these out, depending on where I want to put the wall, which might be right there. I'm only showing one side since it's easier to show one side rather than showing it, me copying it over. Do that, does that work? And then bring it to a transition it to a full block. Will that look not weird? No, that's not gonna work. I don't want that weird bevel in the wall, because then I have to work around it and it'll turn into a diamond shape by the time I'm done. Alright, full block it is. I also need to find a way to get some lighting in this. Would be a hallway. Another sandstorm. No. Oh, the inset light. Have I used the inset light before? I don't think I... Oh! If I used the inset light on the ceiling, I could run... Yep, didn't think of that. You would break up the monotony of the ceiling. I'm not much of an interior decorator. And now, this medical room is probably the extent of my decoration over the entirety of Watermelon. That is the busiest room I have. Because this room is just, it's busy with all the ships in it. Broken up by hydrogen tanks here, conveyor lines there. Ships, small ships everywhere. And it should be just become basically small ship storage area. Probably would have been faster to just grab some plate and throw it in my inventory. You know what? I don't need these holes here. Let me just... I'll leave the holes in the back. I might do something with batteries. I don't need these holes. Well, actually I left that unwelded because that was where I was going to put a conveyor line through for an extra hydrogen tank once I moved to that med bay. What I would give for a survival kit. Though, that would be very slow on charging. The med bay is actually much quicker. But a survival kit would just give me a place to get briefly something in the back. Though I suppose I could just jump into the cryopod and fill myself up that way. Alright. I'm going to be working on the front cabin, so it needs to be depressurized because I'm going to be ripping out the glass to try to make a better front end, since this corner bit isn't working. I need to have it come out straighter and flatter so I could actually make this room look better than it currently is. I'm going to need the 2x1 window and the 2x1 window corner, which I just took out. Because I couldn't... Do I want to extend it by one? Ooh. Because I can extend it by one and then put the corner. I'm just trying to get rid of that weird corner section where I could stand in and be in a pressurized room but die when my helmet is open. That's it. I don't know why, but it created like a vacuum in that one little corner space. It was the weirdest thing. I just want to smooth out. If I could do it along the entire front, that'd be good. Now, this one has to be a corner, since it won't be pressurized. It won't be able to be a pressurized space otherwise.
Tower reports convoy arrived.
That's a... But then I can't get... Will that interfere with the door if I continue on that line? Yes, it will. Or, if I don't have this, I could just extend the room outward and get rid of that door. Now good thing these LCDs can connect through multiple edges, not just the back, because I would have just destroyed that LCD with the memorial to my crew that I lost. don't know if I'll run into them again. Or if they're just gone. Probably it'd be better if they were just, oh, I don't know. I don't want to spoil any surprises I might have in the future. Why are you not lining up with the block? Alright, I'm going to grab the paint on this, and then I'm going to transfer it over to the ones I just made. Is it? No! Oh, what did I just do? It was Shift P, not Shift click. Well, I'm going to end it here. Bye! And I'll see you next time.